Have you ever wondered why some people seem to move through life with an unshakable force, while others drift endlessly, hoping for change but never creating it? The truth is simple, yet most never face it. The world will never hand you what you deserve. It doesn't owe you success, happiness, or recognition. Everything you want begins and ends with one thing: your focus. And not just any focus, but the kind that consumes you, that shuts out distractions, that refuses to be diluted by the noise of other people's opinions. The moment you truly understand this, your life begins to shift. Your energy stops leaking into things that don't matter. Every decision, every thought, every action starts pulling you toward a single, undeniable outcome: victory. Most people spend their lives scattering their energy, chasing what others tell them is important. They seek validation in likes, comments, applause, or approval. They give away pieces of themselves every day, never realizing the power of guarding their attention, like the most precious asset in the world. But when you turn your gaze inward, when you devote yourself to your own growth, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes sharper, your body stronger, your spirit more resilient. You start to see opportunities others overlook because they are too busy looking outward, too distracted to notice what is already within their reach. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to be untouchable in your focus, to wake up with clarity, knowing exactly where your life is headed, to close the doors on distractions that once held you back, to no longer care about people who doubt you, environments that discourage you, or circumstances that seem impossible. All that matters is your path, your grind, your relentless pursuit of improvement. There is a freedom in this kind of focus, a liberation that comes from knowing that no one and nothing can steer you off course. And here is the most powerful part. When you make yourself the center of your universe, when you prioritize your growth above all else, the rewards are not distant or abstract. They manifest in every area of your life. Your confidence skyrockets because it is no longer dependent on the world's approval. Your decisions become instinctively aligned with your goals, eliminating wasted time and effort. Every step you take compounds, each one stronger than the last, until the momentum becomes unstoppable. What once seemed like a distant dream transforms into a living, breathing reality. The reason so few achieve this level of focus is simple. They are afraid of what it demands. It asks for discipline, patience, and the courage to be alone with yourself. It asks that you resist the pull of instant gratification, social noise, and the false comfort of approval. It asks you to stare at your weaknesses, confront them, and refine them. But every second you spend resisting is a second loss to someone who embraces it. Every choice to scatter your attention is a choice to delay the life you are capable of living. The deeper you understand this, the clearer it becomes. There is no substitute for relentless self-focus. There is no shortcut. Victory is earned in the silence of your own dedication. Now, consider the possibility that if you commit fully to yourself, the world's distractions, doubts, and criticisms begin to fade into irrelevance. They no longer hold power over you. Your mind becomes a fortress of clarity. Your energy, once diffused, sharpens into a weapon. You begin to see the world differently, not as something that happens to you, but as a series of challenges to be mastered, obstacles to be transformed into fuel. Every failure stops being a setback and starts being a lesson. Every criticism is converted into insight. Every rejection becomes motivation. This is the transformation that happens when you focus on yourself until nothing else matters, and the reward, the ultimate prize, is unlike anything else. You don't just survive life, you begin to command it. You move through challenges with confidence because your strength comes from within. You experience a deep, unshakable peace because you know your efforts are aligned with your destiny. And most importantly, you stop waiting for permission from the world. You stop hoping for luck or chance. You become the person who makes things happen, who shapes reality through relentless attention, discipline, and unwavering commitment. This is the power that comes from focusing on yourself with total devotion. So ask yourself, are you ready to reclaim your energy, to stop giving it away to things that don't matter, to shut out the noise, silence the doubts, and dedicate every ounce of your being to becoming unstoppable? The path is demanding, yes, but the payoff is absolute. Focus on yourself, sharpen your mind, fortify your spirit, and every action you take will carry you closer to victory. And when victory finally comes, it will not be surprising. It will not be a twist of fate. It will be inevitable because you refuse to be distracted, refuse to settle, and refuse to give up on yourself. If you want, I can continue with the second section, taking the intensity even higher, showing how the relentless grind transforms ordinary effort into unstoppable momentum. This will keep viewers emotionally locked in and inspired to act immediately. Do you want me to write that next? The journey of focus does not end when you decide to prioritize yourself. In fact, it is only the beginning. Once you dedicate yourself fully, the real work begins, the grind that separates those who dream from those who achieve. This is not glamorous. There is no applause at 5 a.m. There are no cheers when you choose discipline over comfort. But this is where true power is forged. Every hour spent sharpening your mind, every moment you push through resistance, every ounce of energy invested in your growth compounds in ways that will transform your life forever. The world may not notice now, but your future self will recognize the force you are building, and it will be unstoppable. Growth requires intensity, but it also demands patience. You will face days when everything feels heavy, when your efforts seem invisible, when doubt whispers that you are wasting your time. These are the moments that define you. They are the test of your commitment. The difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary lies in what you do when no one is watching. It is in the quiet hours of repetition, of refining your skills, of building your body and mind, that you become resilient. You learn to embrace discomfort, to use pain as a teacher, and to turn obstacles into fuel. This is how winners are made, not through luck, but through relentless action taken long before anyone applauds. Every choice you make compounds. Each extra hour spent learning, training, or improving magnifies your future results. Each small victory, when added to the next, creates momentum so powerful it cannot be stopped. People see the success, but they rarely see the countless hours of silent preparation that built it. This is why most never reach their potential. They seek shortcuts, instant results, external validation, but nothing that is worth achieving comes without sacrifice. The reward is always proportional to the intensity of your focus and the depth of your persistence. Understand this. Victory is not a distant possibility for those who commit fully. It becomes inevitable, because when your life is centered on growth, when your attention is devoted to sharpening yourself, the world's distractions lose their grip. Fear, doubt, criticism, they are powerless against someone who has mastered themselves. Your confidence is no longer fragile. It is forged in solitude and strengthened through relentless effort. You begin to move through life with an internal certainty that cannot be shaken. This certainty is magnetic. It draws opportunities, it repels negativity, and it positions you in a state where success is not a question of chance. It is a direct result of your preparation. The intensity of this grind also teaches a profound truth. You are not here to compete with others. Your competition is yourself. Each day, you aim to be better than you were yesterday. Each day, you push your limits further, expand your vision, and sharpen your skills. Social comparisons fade, envy dissolves, and what remains is the pure, unadulterated pursuit of mastery. And in this pursuit, you discover a form of freedom few ever experience. The freedom to live on your own terms, to define your life by your own standards, and to move forward with a relentless, unwavering force. Discipline becomes your ally, focus your weapon, and perseverance your shield. You learn to harness the power of routine, to command your energy instead of letting it scatter. You see the difference between what is urgent and what is important, and you no longer fall prey to distractions disguised as progress. Every decision is intentional. Every action is aligned with your ultimate vision. And as this precision compounds over weeks, months, and years, you realize that life no longer controls you. You control it. You are no longer reacting. You are creating, shaping, and commanding every aspect of your existence. There will be resistance. There will be moments when the world tries to pull you off your path. Friends, family, society. They may not understand your level of commitment. They may question your choices or doubt your drive, but these challenges are not obstacles. They are confirmations. They prove that you are stepping beyond mediocrity, that you are stretching into greatness. And as you persist, as you push through every test, you cultivate a mindset that is immune to distraction, impervious to fear, and unshakable in its pursuit of victory. Eventually, the grind becomes a force of its own. Habits form, routines solidify, and your life begins to move at a higher velocity. What once required conscious effort now flows naturally. Your energy, once fragile and scattered, now radiates with purpose. And this is when the world begins to notice, not because you sought attention, but because your results demand it. Success, respect, and influence are no longer gifts. They are the inevitable outcome of relentless focus and disciplined action. You have built an unstoppable momentum, and nothing can reverse it. Every step, every sacrifice, every hour invested in yourself leads to the same inevitable truth. When you focus relentlessly, when you grind without pause, and when you refuse to give your power away, you become unstoppable. Victory is no longer a hope, a dream, or a possibility. It becomes a certainty. And the life you imagined, once distant and elusive, is now within your grasp. Not because it was easy, but because you refused to quit, refused to compromise, and refused to settle for anything less than your full potential. If you like, I can immediately write the third and final section, taking the energy to its peak and showing how focus and relentless discipline turn into an unstoppable force where victory is not just possible, but inevitable. This final section will leave viewers feeling electrified and ready to act. Do you want me to write it next? Now, imagine the moment when focus, discipline, and relentless effort fuse into something unstoppable. It is a force so powerful that the world no longer determines your path. You do. Every doubt, every fear, every obstacle that once seemed insurmountable now exists only as a challenge to be mastered. You have trained your mind, strengthened your body, and sharpened your spirit. You are no longer reacting to life, you are commanding it. And in this state, victory is no longer a possibility or a wish. It becomes inevitable. The truth is, life cannot compete with a mind that is fully committed to itself. When your attention is unwavering, when your energy is protected, and when every action is aligned with your ultimate purpose, the universe begins to respond. Opportunities present themselves effortlessly. People who once doubted you are drawn to your momentum. Doors that were once closed begin to open, not because you sought them, but because your presence demands them. The world does not resist someone who is relentless. It bends, it shifts, it gives way to unstoppable focus. This power comes from within. It is not borrowed. It is not inherited, and it cannot be stolen. It is the result of countless hours spent building habits that fortify your will, routines that sharpen your mind, and choices that prioritize growth over comfort. Every sacrifice, every moment of patience, every refusal to give in to distraction compounds into a momentum that cannot be stopped. You begin to realize that success is not granted, it is claimed. And when you claim it through discipline and focus, no one and nothing can take it away. As your focus deepens, you begin to see life differently. Challenges that once felt like walls now appear as steps. Criticism that once weighed heavily now serves as insight. Rejection that once stung now fuels your fire. You are no longer swayed by circumstances or distracted by the noise of the world. Instead, you move with purpose, confidence, and clarity. You understand that the only variable that matters is your commitment to yourself, and with that commitment, every action becomes a building block for inevitable success. The beauty of this state is that it liberates you from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. All of it dissolves when your focus is absolute. When you have mastered yourself, fear has nowhere to take root. You do not wait for permission, validation, or approval. You move forward because your own drive is enough. Your vision is clear, your energy is concentrated, and your mind is unshakable. Nothing outside of you can alter the course you have chosen. This is the mindset of those who do not just succeed, they dominate. Every action you take now carries weight. Every choice compounds. You no longer waste energy on distractions or on people who do not align with your purpose. Your priorities are clear, your routines unbreakable, and your ambition unstoppable. Each day you invest in yourself accelerates your progress. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone. Every obstacle becomes a lesson. Every moment of discomfort is transformed into growth. This is how ordinary effort evolves into extraordinary results. This is how persistence transforms into inevitability. And the result of this relentless focus is power. A calm, unshakable power that radiates from within. You carry it quietly, but it is undeniable. People notice it even if they cannot name it. Opportunities follow it. Influence grows around it. Life itself begins to yield to it. This power is not arrogance, it is mastery. Mastery over your mind, your body, your time, and ultimately your destiny. It is the reward for those who refuse to settle, who refuse to quit, and who refuse to give their power away. When victory becomes inevitable, it is no longer about proving anyone wrong. It is no longer about recognition or applause. It is about the satisfaction of knowing that every choice you made, every sacrifice, every hour spent on yourself was worth it. You become the person you were meant to be. A life of purpose, influence, and unstoppable momentum is no longer a dream. It is your reality. You have moved beyond chance, beyond luck, beyond the limitations of circumstance. You are no longer waiting for life to happen. You are making it happen. And this is the final truth. When you focus on yourself until nothing else matters, when you grind with relentless intensity, when you refuse to be distracted, the world does not have a choice. Victory does not have a choice. It is drawn to you, compelled by the energy you have created, the power you have cultivated, and the inevitability you have built with your own hands. You are unstoppable, unbreakable, and undeniable. Every step you take now is a step closer to the life you envisioned, the success you deserve, and the person you were always meant to become. Your focus, your discipline, your relentless pursuit of growth, these are your weapons. Use them, protect them, nourish them, let them carry you through resistance, through doubt, through fear. And when the world finally catches up, when the noise fades and the results speak, it will not be a surprise. It will not be luck. It will be the natural outcome of one unshakable truth. You focused on yourself until victory became inevitable. Now that you understand the unstoppable force of focus, imagine what it means to live fully in that power every single day. This is no longer about occasional effort or fleeting motivation. This is about creating a life where every thought, every action, and every choice is aligned with your ultimate vision. It is about becoming so relentless, so disciplined, and so committed that the very concept of failure no longer exists. You are no longer drifting through life. You are shaping it with deliberate precision, and every step you take propels you closer to the life you have always imagined. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who settle for mediocrity is the intensity of their dedication to themselves. Ordinary people wait for external circumstances to change. They wait for validation, for opportunities, for permission to succeed. But when you focus fully on yourself, you create your own reality. You no longer rely on luck or chance because your preparation and persistence have built a momentum that cannot be stopped. Every action you take compounds on the last, and this force grows daily until it becomes unassailable. You begin to operate from a place of certainty, knowing that the results are no longer dependent on the world, they are dependent on you. Every obstacle you face now becomes a test of your power, a confirmation of your resilience, and a stepping stone toward mastery. What once intimidated you now challenges you to rise higher. Criticism that once felt crushing now becomes irrelevant because your focus shields you from the noise. Doubts that once whispered in your ear are silenced by your clarity and determination. You have built a mind that is impervious to distraction, a spirit that cannot be shaken, and a drive that refuses to bend. And it is in this state that victory ceases to be optional. It is inevitable. Living in this level of focus transforms more than just your actions. It transforms your identity. You no longer see yourself as someone waiting for change or opportunity. You see yourself as the architect of your life. Every choice reflects your vision. Every habit reinforces your strength, and every moment of discipline compounds into undeniable momentum. You begin to recognize that the world's resistance is not a barrier. It is confirmation that you are moving beyond ordinary limits. Resistance becomes fuel, adversity becomes a teacher, and every challenge becomes an opportunity to refine your power. The intensity of your focus also frees you from the illusions that once held you back. You stop seeking approval from people who do not matter. You stop chasing distractions that dilute your energy. You stop letting fear dictate your actions. Instead, your energy is concentrated, your attention unwavering, and your vision crystal clear. The clarity that comes from this level of self-mastery allows you to see paths and possibilities that others cannot. You operate on a higher level, where every action is intentional, every decision strategic, and every effort multiplied by the power of your relentless focus. With this focus, you no longer measure progress by comparison to others. You measure it against your own potential, your own discipline, and your own standards. Every day becomes an opportunity to refine yourself, to push further, and to elevate your life beyond what was once imaginable. This mindset cultivates confidence that is unshakable because it is not built on external validation. It is built on consistent action, self-mastery, and an unrelenting commitment to growth. And confidence, once established, becomes magnetic. It draws opportunities, attracts allies, and accelerates momentum. Victory in this context is not sudden. It is the natural consequence of your unwavering focus. It is the result of consistent effort, strategic discipline, and a mind trained to pursue mastery relentlessly. The life you desire, the results you envision, and the success you deserve are no longer matters of hope. They are inevitable outcomes of the person you have become. You are no longer waiting for circumstances to align. You are creating the alignment through your own energy, drive, and mastery. The most powerful realization is that your focus is contagious. As you sharpen yourself, as you elevate your standards and your energy, the world begins to respond. People recognize your force. Opportunities present themselves with greater clarity, and life begins to bend toward your direction. This is not luck or coincidence. It is the natural law of effort meeting discipline. When you invest fully in yourself, the results are unavoidable. Your life becomes a reflection of your unwavering commitment, and the force you create cannot be ignored. Living this way demands absolute accountability. There is no room for excuses, no tolerance for hesitation, and no compromise on your priorities. Every action, every choice, every thought must align with the person you are becoming. And as you commit fully, you realize that the life of greatness you envisioned is not just possible, it is already in motion. The path is clear, the momentum is unstoppable, and the only question remaining is how fully you are willing to dedicate yourself.